Hey, I'm Steven.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're independent hairdressers. We started this podcast because there's a movement in our industry.
Hairdressers are embracing independence more than ever. These are the stories of those hairdressers.
We hope you find them inspirational and educational and show you that independence does not mean isolation. You're a part of this revolution, and we're here to support that. Okay, so this episode, we're sitting down with Denise Cartwright, who is a Master Esthetician and the founder of CRUDE, a skincare company based around the concept of oil cleansing.
That was a perfect description.
Nice. Perfect. So we wanted you on the show today because we couldn't think of really a better person to talk to about soap, really. And we wanted to kind of talk about why we're called the detergent insurgents and, kind of maybe relate it to this whole hair story thing. But we'll get into that maybe a little bit later. I really want to start off with hearing your story and how CRUDE came to be. So if you could give us a little bit of background on who you are and how that happened.
Sure. So I have been a master esthetician since 2007, and I've worked in many spas and salons. I'm actually a cosmetologist too. So for a while I was doing both hair and skin. And I ended up gravitating more toward skincare and aesthetics just because I liked the healing kind of like spa aspect of it. But I never had the best skin. So that was kind of a problem because my skin was consistently dry, consistently flaky. I was constantly breaking out. And I noticed that the products I was using in the spas weren't doing what they were supposed to do for my skin or for my client's skin. So that was discouraging for sure. But in 2012, when I was living in New York City, I discovered the oil cleansing method, which is something that was sort of trending on like natural beauty blogs at the time. And I started experimenting with washing my face with oil, and within a week, my skin was better than it had ever been. So that was really exciting and really intriguing to me. And I started doing a lot of research and started giving some of my clients at the spas little bottles of oils to see sort of how it worked with their skin. And it didn't take long for me to realize that this was a powerful technique. And after a couple of months, I actually left the spa I was working at to start taking facial clients out of my apartment with the oils I was making. And a few months later, I had a brand and a website and enough money to sustain myself full time. It happened really, really fast because this method works really fast. So people were getting really excited about it.
Well, and I can imagine it mirrored your own frustration. Your clients probably felt that same way. I mean, here as an esthetician, you had access to the most high-tech, newest, very expensive, very cheap. It doesn't matter, like everything, and nothing had worked for you. And I would imagine when something in a lot of ways is so simple could be so profound. I mean, it's not like, hey, here's this new method that's going to work. It's going to cost you thousands of dollars and you're going to have to go through these pretty serious medical treatments. I mean, you've got this thing that's so simple and natural and very reasonably priced and things like that. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that it took off.
I feel like I identify as a hairdresser. I have had the most expensive ingredients, the most expensive shampoos, or
the best soap.
Yeah, the best soap. And wasn't getting any good results either. So thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What is oil cleansing?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to know.
Okay.
Because obviously I think.
Is it the same as the Ayurvedic oil pulling in your mouth kind of thing? Is it the same?
Totally. The same concept. So like attracts like, oil attracts the oil and debris and gunk on your skin. An example I like to give when talking about oil cleansing, I go back to my waxing days. If I were to spill wax on the floor or get a little bit on someone's skin, I'm not going to use soap to get that up. I'm going to use oil because it breaks it all down and pulls it right up. So oil is an amazing cleanser. I think where people go wrong with oil cleansing is because water and oil repel, people try to wash the oil off with just water, but that's not going to remove it from your skin, which is why I introduced the microfiber cloth, which is super absorbent and way softer than normal cloth. So you're breaking it all down with the oil and then you're pulling it all up with the pull cloth, the microfiber cloth.
When did the microfiber cloth come into it? How did that,
that
where did you learn about that?
was a huge moment for me because I was just using normal cloth. This is when I was taking clients out of my apartment. Okay. It was still sort of working without the microfiber cloth, but as soon as I introduced the microfiber to a few of my clients, it was just like instant results. People loved it and I loved it. It made a big difference on my skin. So that's when I was like, okay, I think I have a system here. Like, I think this is a thing that I need to invest my time and money into. And that is where the CRUDE starter kit came from.
Cool. And I think we've had this conversation. You even sought out like a specific microfiber cloth, didn't you? Like something that worked even better. Is that
microfiber I ended up going with, it's got split fibers, so it's even more absorbent than like store-bought microfiber cloth and way softer.
So here's the thing that maybe a first-time listener, or that I think would come up all the time, that there's got to be some hesitation and fear of like, I have oily skin and I've been trying to get rid of oil. Like just the term oil.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine people get really scared
by
that, or like
totally.
How could that possibly work for me? Like, oh, maybe if I'm the one that has super parched, dry skin, like maybe that's going to work. I mean, tell me about your experience with that. I'm sure you've had questions.
So that's a super common concern. And actually some of our best testimonials are from people with oily skin. The oil cleansing method is amazing for oily skin. And part of the reason is because of the oil that your skin naturally produces through your sebaceous glands. When you're constantly stripping the oil off of your skin, your sebaceous glands overproduce oil to make up for what you're stripping. So when you're using soap on oily skin, you're just causing this vicious cycle of stripping and then overproducing, stripping and overproducing. Whereas when you cleanse your skin with oil, again, you're getting that super deep cleanse. It cleans up wax even, but you're not stripping off your natural moisture barrier. And that is a really important part of this concept. This soap-free concept is your natural moisture barrier, which is just, it's a thin layer of oil that rests on top of your skin and it acts as a shield. So it's keeping bacteria out and it's also holding moisture in your skin. And what happens when you strip that layer, which you do when you use soap on your skin, is your skin is left exposed. So it's easier for bacteria to get into your skin, which causes breakouts, but it's also just causing inflammation because it's exposed to the elements. Plus, your sebaceous glands are overproducing oil to make up for what you're stripping. So that one layer, and it's part of your skin's ecosystem. I think what people need to remember is that your skin is a living, breathing system and it knows what it's doing. It's working for you all the time. And when you're constantly inflaming it and stripping it and messing up the system, you're wreaking havoc. And inflammation, I think, is the root of a lot of skin problems. So just keeping that barrier intact is huge for skincare.
I was just talking to someone 2 days ago about this, and she was talking about her son who had switched over to an oil cleansing method. And she had described like how his skin used to be angry or look angry. And she's like, it no longer looks angry anymore. And that was really interesting to me because I thought about what you had talked about, that wreaking havoc on it. And of course, like your body is responding to this. And it's, I liked the angry skin thing. Okay, let's approach this more, in a gentle manner. Let's reduce that inflammation.
Soap, anger.
Yeah, right.
Totally. The other element I think that's important to talk about when you're talking about soap is your skin's microbiome, which is its natural colony of bacteria. It's really cool. There's this one bacteria actually called N-eutropha. And when you see like horses or cats or animals rolling in the dirt, they're trying to pick up this bacteria called N-eutropha, which actually works with the bacteria in your skin to like eat up the ammonia and the stinky bacteria. So it cleans you. It works to clean you. But when you wash your body with soap, you destroy all of that bacteria. So again, it's like your skin is trying to clean you and trying to work for you, but you mess that whole process up when you use soap on your body.
So that's similar to the microbiome in your gut, where you want all the good bacteria that kind of help keep the pathogenic down, right?
Exactly.
And that's the same with the skin.
Exactly, yeah. There's a company called Biome that recently launched a spray version of that N-eutropha bacteria. They're a really interesting company, and the New York Times did an article about them. One of their journalists actually tried the system. They stopped using soap for 30 days and were only using this spray bacteria. And over the 30 days, they were able to build up an amazing colony of N-eutropha. They didn't feel like they had to shower or use soap anymore. And after the 30 days, it only took 3 uses of soap to completely destroy the colony of bacteria. So
wow, that happened so quickly.
So we're killing all the good stuff with soap.
We're killing all the good stuff. And that bacteria, it doesn't just clean you. I mean, there's so much that bacteria does for your skin. It's so important for the health of your skin.
And probably the health of your body, I would imagine, right? I mean, that's basically that protective layer against the world around us.
Yeah, because we kind of live in this sterile environment where you're cleaning everything, but you're constantly getting rid of the good stuff. And that's probably why we get sick so much, is because we're so sterile that we don't have this good bacteria build up to protect us.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the research being done on the gut microbiome right now is really fascinating, but I mean, they're linking it to everything. So many problems that originate in the gut because of the gut bacteria, but no one's really looking at skin bacteria.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are. There are a few people out there that are starting to get into it, but I think it's just as important as the gut.
Yeah.
So I think it should be obvious that if we were to connect this to shampoo, which is also just soap, and your scalp, which is also just skin, it's really no different then. Like, so what?
No wonder my clients are getting oily all the time after using shampoo. Mm-hmm. It's telling them to produce more oil from the sebaceous glands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you share your experience when I introduced New Wash to you and how that kind of, what that did for your hair?
Yeah, totally. So I've always had super, super sensitive skin, and shampoo has always just been a struggle for me. It makes me itch. It makes my hair really dry and horrible. And I remember the first time you put New Wash in my hair, it was just like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been looking for my whole life. I just knew, like, it felt so good in my hair. It felt so good on my scalp. My hair felt so clean, but it wasn't like dry and frizzy. I loved it instantly. And it's the only thing I'll put on my hair.
It's awesome. Because you already knew about this from creating your skincare and doing that for your face and the rest of your skin. Were you just using shampoo and conditioner before that? Or had you tried other methods?
Yeah, I tried everything. I've tried all of like the natural shampoo and conditioner options, and I've tried the no poo method, which was gross. My hair was disgusting for weeks. I've tried all of it, but New Wash is the best. It's the best thing I've ever used, seriously. And it was so exciting when you introduced me to it because CRUDE was pretty new at that point. Mm-hmm. And so I was just realizing that like soap's a problem for your skin and maybe it's a problem for your hair. And then like suddenly here was this like perfect solution. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited to be affiliated with Hair Story because I think we have a similar mission.
Totally. Love that. So we actually, I think this is really interesting because we talked to a couple hairdressers recently asking them what they thought about shampoo. And I mean, for a hairdresser, I don't think the answers are going to be all that surprising, but I think it was kind of funny, the variety of answers we got. So here, I want you to listen to these real quick and then tell me what you think.
Okay.
Shampoo. You know what? I don't shampoo my hair. I recommend a lot of shampoo. It all just, it depends on the texture of the hair, but you know, some shampoos are good and some shampoos are absolute shit. So I'll be honest with you. I think some products perform better. I think that some are just smoke and mirrors. I think that, you know, it's a marketing thing. I also think that it's like the whole thing with toothpaste, right? Like they say, like in the commercial, like you're supposed to add all this toothpaste to it. You know, every dentist I've talked to is like just a little bit, right? You don't need a ton. So it's kind of like you have to properly rinse your hair really well in order to shampoo it really well. So
why don't you shampoo your own hair?
I like my texture really nappy and dirty. Yeah, that's how I like my hair.
That's it. That's good.
You have good hair.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think your hair is probably better off because you don't shampoo it.
Right.
Shampoo? I love shampoo. I mean, we all need it.
Do you recommend it for your clients?
Of course. Of course. Everyone needs shampoo. No sulfates, no parabens, no GMOs, everything light and buildable. Actually, get rid of all the impurities. In Vegas, we have a lot of hard water. So removing all that from the hair.
How often do you shampoo your hair?
Once every week or two, depending on the week.
But you recommend this to your clients?
Of course.
But you don't use it?
I mean, that's irrelevant. I mean, I like a natural texture. So, yes.
I think that it's great for some people, and I think that it could be almost unnecessary for others.
Do you use shampoo?
Sometimes. Sometimes. I don't wash my hair typically often because, as you may know, it's an afro, and it's pretty thick, and I like those oils. But yeah, so when I do use shampoo, and it's usually a hydrating shampoo, really lightweight shampoo.
Try to maintain as much of those oils as possible. It's like you want to wash it, but you also don't want to take all that away.
Definitely. So there's cleansing conditioners that I'm really interested to see how that works.
I think that's definitely a step forward.
Do you ever tell your clients not to use shampoo?
No, I haven't. But I always make sure that they're not washing daily. Everyone. Even if it's someone with really oily scalp, I just tell them, to use some dry shampoo. But you don't need to wash. And then a big thing about shampoo is that you can also use it in different areas of the head. So if you just need to use it on your roots, you literally can just put the shampoo, make sure that the bubbles and the suds don't go past 1-2 inches off your roots. That's all you need to wash. And once you really spend good time getting that oil that's bothering you so much off that new hair, which is stronger, which can handle more of the chemicals anyways, then you just rinse it right off. And if you're really scared of getting any of that shampoo on the mid-shaft and the ends, put some conditioner just how you would with color on the mid-shaft and ends, and then rinse all of it off, and you should be good.
I love shampoo. super important when it comes to some of my products that they are paraben and sulfate free. Some people think that sulfates and parabens are kind of like a faux pas, like they're not really in shampoo and conditioner. They think that parabens and sulfates don't take out my smoothing treatments. The sulfates, the salt, takes out my smoothing treatments. Because in the UK, they think that sulfates and parabens are a bunch of kind of like formaldehyde, there's derivatives. And so with parabens and sulfates, the UK claims that the derivatives are put in. Instead of calling it sulfates and parabens, it's derivatives.
What are they replacing sulfates with?
Well, you know what? I haven't got that far yet.
What about the idea of washing without soap entirely?
You know what? I love the fact I was using Chaz Dean has when, but it's clogging the hair follicles. So women are
Silicone.
Thank you. I've seen it and I used it and I lost about half the hair on my head. And so I kind of quit using it when I didn't know what was happening. But I was working at a place where a few women I knew were using it. They were experiencing the same thing. And so I believe it kind of maybe will clog hair follicles. I'm not sure.
Have you heard of New Wash from Hair Story?
New Wash from Hair Story, I have. I haven't investigated it, but I've heard of it. See, I have cruelty-free beauty bloggers, and we're putting like 200 chemicals on our body every day. So bad.
The experience with the Wen kind of turned you off, like kind of a little nervous to try anything that maybe is even remotely similar, or at least perceived to be similar.
You know, I'm never nervous to try new products. I sample products all the time. I test them, I try them.
I love that you have a strong feeling about it, because we talk to a lot of people who don't really have a strong feeling anyway. They're just kind of like, well, it's shampoo.
No, I'm so different, because what I do is that anything that goes into Cosmoprof or Maylis, I won't carry it. If you can buy it, I won't carry it. So I handpick.
Did you know that you could get a free bottle of New Wash sent to you to try it out?
No, I did not, but that would be fantastic. I would love to try anything new, always.
I tell my clients to shampoo when they feel they need to rinse and repeat and get a new life. Shampoo's like a way to get to the next level of who you want to be.
Brandon, what's your take on that?
That was interesting. It seems like there's a dirty secret in our industry. I'm not sure that hairdressers love shampoo.
I found it interesting that many of them recommended it, said they loved it, didn't really use it, or they had all these kind of methods to making it work. Like nobody was just following the instructions on the back of the bottle and saying, that's perfect, I love this. Clearly we heard lots of buzzwords. Like it's got to be sulfate free. It's got to be paraben free. It's got to be, I don't know. What's your take on that? I mean,
yeah, are those the real enemies?
Is that the biggest problem? Is it that it's these specific ingredients or?
Well, I think sulfates are a problem. I think parabens are a problem, but I also think detergent is a problem. And I think that something can be sulfate free, but it has detergent and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, same thing, right?
It's the same thing.
Different soap.
But it's funny though that like it's obviously a problem and everyone hates it. And so people are coming out with sulfate-free products, but like it's just exactly the same. Mm-hmm. And then people are still just using them like once every other week or something.
Yeah.
So it's clearly a problem.
Or being very meticulous not to get it on the old hair and
yeah. But the new hair can handle the chemicals.
The chemicals, the harsh stuff.
Yeah. We found that really telling when we were there. And I mean, Brandon and I we've been thinking there's something up for a while and, we've been doing something about it, but it was really fun talking to hairdressers just off the cuff to get their perspective on it. But honestly, we've been having those conversations in the salon for years. We'd be at the back bar and it'd be like, do we use the moisturizing one or do we use the volumizing one? And there's no difference between the two.
Well, let's face it, as hairdressers, we're always telling our clients not to use this stuff.
Yeah, most of the time it was just like, hey, how often are you washing your hair? Let's wash it less. Challenges with getting people to wash their hair less too. That really wasn't just the answer, So coming up with a way to wash your hair without all these conditions around it, if you want to wash your hair multiple times a day, as long as you're doing it without soap, sure, go for it. Mm-hmm. I still only wash my hair like once a week or every week and a half. And that still works fine for me with, using a soap-free product. And my wife, it works great. She washes it just once a day usually. So.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it always comes back to like trusting nature and trusting the body. And that's sort of CRUDE's mission is like getting people back to nature because your body knows what it's doing and your sebaceous glands work for you. And there's all these systems that are already in place. And it's like we come in, And I mean, really, it's crazy to think that humans have evolved to need soap. That's crazy. And really, like, once you start to understand the systems of the body and work with them and like work with your skin and heal your skin and give it nutrients and love it and support it, like it works for you. And like suddenly your acne goes away and your rosacea and all of these inflammatory skin diseases go away because you're working with nature and with the body.
That makes sense.
So a little history on the soap a little bit. Like, I'm not a historian, but I know that, at some point the surgeons started washing their hands before they did surgery, and there was less infection and less complications with the surgery. So I'm kind of assuming that it made a big difference. It was probably smart that if you're cutting a body open and sticking a dirty hand in it, that's a bad idea. And I would imagine maybe just this mania for using soap kind of stemmed from like, hey, it was so effective there. Let's just start using soap for everything all the time, constantly.
Yeah.
Totally. And I definitely think that surgeons should still wash their hands.
Right.
Surgery,
I think it's a good idea.
But what's interesting is actually water does most of the work when you're washing your hands. Like they've done studies, and like if you wash your hands really well under the water and like, use friction in your hands, you're removing most of the bacteria.
Wow.
I mean, of course, like I said, if you're giving surgery, wash your hands with soap. But as far as like your body is concerned, it is totally unnecessary.
Yeah. I mean, it's a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
You still have all that natural protection intact. You haven't messed with it to begin with.
And you want a lot of that bacteria on your skin.
There's the whole like marketing and business side of it, I feel like now, because I feel like there's a real benefit if we can create a problem, then we can sell a product to fix it. But if the problem wasn't there to begin with, then, so there's a real financial interest in keeping people using soap, because then they can sell the styling products to fix how the hair looks after using soap. Conditioners, mask, things like that.
And for your skin, like toners, exfoliants, masks, all that kind of stuff. I mean, CRUDE is one product. You wash your face and you moisturize with the everything oil.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we have like a regenerative serum and a detox mask, but yeah, it's just the one thing. You don't need 50 products. That's crazy.
Yeah, I love that side of it. And I didn't even point that out at the beginning when we started talking, but that CRUDE, it's seriously, there's 3 things, right? The simplicity of it is really awesome.
But yeah, you're right. If you don't strip off the oil on your skin, you don't have to put a bunch of stuff back on it to like try to recreate that. And the stuff your skin makes is better than the stuff that you're going to put on it. It's already there.
Yeah, but it's like fine-tuned for you. Like, how does a lab make a product that is customized for every individual body when there's so many different needs and stuff?
That reminds me, actually, there's this guy named Gary Darmstadt. He works at Stanford, and he's doing research right now on preterm babies in third world countries. And they've noticed that a lot of infection that these babies are getting is coming in through the skin. But what do? When a baby's first born, you wash it with soap. And so it doesn't have that protective layer. As the baby comes through, it picks up the vernix from the mother, which is, it's like a thick, almost like waxy.
Right.
Scientists have tried to recreate that because it is literally the perfect barrier for babies. We can't recreate it. It's absolutely perfect. But we immediately wash it off with soap, and then these babies don't have protection. So he found that rubbing the babies with sunflower oil can cut the death rate almost in half.
Wow.
So I found that when I was building my everything oil, when I was trying to choose what oils to use. And so that's actually why I chose sunflower oil, because I saw how effective it was at almost replacing that natural moisture barrier. The linoleic acid in the sunflower oil closely resembles your skin's sebum.
Okay.
So it's a good substitute.
It at least works in harmony with what your body's doing naturally.
Yeah, and it actually works. It cuts down the death rate. So
that's awesome. I mean, it's similar to breast milk versus formula. They try to recreate that.
A synthetic version.
But it's so, I mean, the breast milk is so complex. There's so many elements to it, and impossible to fully recreate. And then it's custom for your kid.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I heard that like somehow as the baby is breastfeeding, your body can tell if it needs to make certain different protein based off of the baby's saliva.
Wow.
It makes different proteins for what the baby needs.
And we think we're so smart.
I know. That's what this all boils down to.
The intelligence is already within.
We
all carry it. Yeah. Each one of us has our own intelligence, and we're working against it all the time.
And I mean, not to take it too macro, but on a larger scale, culturally, we are not taught to go within and trust ourselves and trust our inner truth and guidance. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're trusting the school system, the government, these kinds of things. And instead the answers are right here with us.
Yeah. Trusting the beauty industry.
Yeah.
I think you just tapped industry on the back end of beauty. And that kind of is quite telling.
Follow the money. I mean your heart.
So tell me, what's next for CRUDE?
So I am in the process of developing a soap-free body wash that I'm super excited about. I have the main formula down. We're just tweaking the essential oils, the scent a little bit. So this is a blend. There's some aloe vera in it, a couple other things, but it's amazing. It works really well. My team's been using it. I have a few other people who've been using it and everyone really loves it. So hoping to get that finalized within the next few months and then aiming for a launch like maybe Q2 of next year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Cool. Yeah. But I can't wait to try your body wash.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be
you're
really
going to
cool.
like it. It's pretty great.
This is some pioneer stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's done the hair thing. You're doing the skin thing. These are grassroots.
It's next.
There's a couple of mouth products actually that I like.
There's soap and
toothpaste.
Yeah, detergent and mouthwash. Mouthwash is crazy.
Okay.
But okay, so there's this stuff called Magic Mouth. It's actually made locally. Magic Mouth is a really yummy oil pull. It's like a mouthwash, but it's made of oil. And in Ayurveda, like oil pull, like you said, it's huge. Hers is a coconut oil blend and it tastes really good. She's got a couple different mints in there. Diatomaceous earth, which is really good for you. It tastes really yummy. Hers is my favorite oil pull I've ever tried. And then the toothpaste I've been using is Earth Paste. It's a clay toothpaste.
Yeah, the Redmond Farms.
Yeah.
Ah.
Clay
so is that
works
like the clay?
similar to the oil. It pulls the different toxins.
Yeah. So like we have the detox mask in CRUDE. It's just clay and green tea.
Okay.
So that's when you need an extra like deeper cleanse, or if you're like a little congested or oily, clay just pulls everything right out.
Because
it's absorbent.
The absorbent quality of the clay is going to pull it out. So basically between the oil pulling for your mouth with the rinse and then also the toothpaste, I mean, that's going to completely replace traditional methods of toothpaste, mouthwash, whatever.
Yeah. Totally.
Detergent.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is, right? Like that's the crazy thing. Like we've taken the soap from, washing your cars and we just do our hair, we do our mouth, we do everything.
Yeah.
Just put different flavors on it so you feel like it's, for a different purpose or something.
Yeah, once we launch this wash, it will be full body soap-free cleansing.
Awesome.
With New Wash, Magic Mouth, Earth Paste, and CRUDE.
Yes.
You no longer need soap or detergent.
Okay, so for people to stay updated on that, your website, livecrude.com.
Livecrude.com. LIVECRUDE.
Perfect. Also follow you on Instagram, also at livecrude, LIVECRUDE.
Yep. And on Snapchat, you can like us on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Pinterest. We're all over the place.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's the way people can be updated, not only with the, everything oil and what you already have, but with new things like this body wash. Also, if you follow Denise through those channels, you also hear a little bit about New Wash. She wrote a great blog post on her website about it. And you can follow a link there to try it out. Get a bottle of New Wash for yourself. See what you think. Hairdressers, you can get one free. Consumers, you can purchase it through there. I think that wraps it up.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on the show.
So thanks for having me.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
Why do you think it's detergent insurgents?
Well, I think we could go. Should we go into that on this episode?
No, let's leave it for another one.
I mean, I think even if you've been listening, you can kind of cue in thinking about this this quiet revolution of this detergent thing. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this episode. We hope you liked it as much as we loved making it. For more information about us, our guests, or anything else you heard today, please go to detergentinsurgents.com.